Hello and welcome. Today I am looking to recreate Wizard101's Grizzleheim using Unreal Engine 5. I've played the game ever since it first came out and I'm really passionate about doing this project. And I hope you guys really like what I create. So without further ado, let's get into the build. The first thing I needed to do was get some references of the actual area, so I needed to play Wizard101, get to the point where I could access Grizzleheim, so when I'm making the map I can use it as a reference. Now with the reference in place, I began sculpting my landscape, trying to get Grizzleheim's basic shape. Once I was fairly happy with the shape, I added a material instance so I could start painting the landscape to where grass, soil and all that kind of should be. This is helpful because for one, it tells you where foliage can be placed, and for two, it's just better than looking at Unreal Engine's grey squares. My next step was to add meshes. This is the fun part I find. I can add the buildings, add the fences, all the stuff that makes Grizzleheim. I had a Viking pack, which is a low poly kind of art style. I don't think you can beat Wizard101's nostalgia for its art style, but I think this art pack will do it justice. The buildings in the mesh pack turned out to be a bit bigger than I expected, so the landscape needed to be adjusted. Needed to make it a bit bigger, a bit wider, but this is absolutely fine. This is just part of the whole development process of building an environment. I thought the best place to start was right in the center. This was so I could see how wide I needed to make the island, so if I needed to move the landscape back, I could, without having to rearrange any of the meshes that I've already placed. The asset pack was doing really well. I managed to mesh out this whole place, doing like a fisherman style hut kind of area. I've even got the boat coming down the lake, and in the actual game this is kind of like a fisherman area too, and I didn't realise that until after I'd already meshed it all out, so a nice coincidence there. I was looking forward to doing the fortress area. I had to make my own entrance buildings, so I used the assets that I got. I had to use the walls, door frames, all that kind of stuff to make our own little entranceways. And then once I'd done that, I was able to group them together so I could use them for all three entrances to the fortress. I made my own version of the market stalls, and then I've just duplicated them into place, and then later I'll just change what assets I want to put in them to make the markets look like they sell different things. The actual fortress walls are a lot easier than they look. It's just a lot of duplicating, and you can group them up to make the duplications a lot bigger, and then once you've got 1/4 of the actual fortress done, you can just group that all together and then you can make the other 3 sides to make your circular fortress. However, I wanted to make sure it wasn't the same all the way around, so raising the heights, lowering the heights, rotating them just to make sure there was some sort of difference throughout just made it a bit more interesting, even if it's something that people won't really necessarily look at. Just as we're finished up with part 1, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching this. I'd love to know your thoughts, love to know what you think about it. Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully I'll see you guys in future streams. Look out for new videos, and please drop a like and a subscribe.